Hey y'all, welcome back to Big Daddy's Barbecue Pit. Today, we got something special planned for you. We're gonna make you a Philly style roast pork sandwich. So what we have here is a 3.5 pound Thyme pork roast that they cut out of a shoulder. And we're just gonna I'm gonna take off these ties and just open it up so we can get some seasoning in there. I'm gonna save them because I'm gonna tie it back up. So you can see this thing is nice. We want to leave all this fat on there. We want it to render down. We're going to actually cook this fat side up. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to hit it with some olive oil, just to use it as a binder. Try to get all over. Now we have some fresh thyme. Just going to give it a good sprinkle all the way around. If you only have dry thyme, you can use that. And we also got some fresh rosemary here that we chopped up. Gonna add some fresh garlic to it. Just rub that in real good. This is gonna roast for about 3 hours on 375. We want to get this in the oven and cook it. We're gonna actually cook it in some stock. And we're gonna cook it till it reaches at least 190 degrees. We want to make this sliceable. So now I'm going to come across with our Killer Hogs AP. Nice dosing of this. Again, if you don't, you could make one of these roast yourself out of a pork shoulder or Boston butt. We're fortunate enough, our Publix here, they sell them just like this, already made up. So we have some salt, pepper, garlic there. Now we're going to come back with some of Malcolm's Italian Stallion. Seasoned liberally. This thing's going to be delicious. So we're going to get this tied back up, and I'll show you the next step. We're going to come in here and just thinly slice. These are some sweet onions. If you only have white onions, that's fine. Those will work too. Again, we're going to bake this 375, probably about 3 hours. It's really going to depend on the size of the roast you have. We'll get these sliced up. We're going to get them in the baking dish along with the pork roast, and I'll put some stock in there and we'll get this thing cooking. Okay, so we're going to add some stock to this. I'm going to use equal parts chicken and vegetable stocks. We're going about 2 cups each. I just want about the bottom third of this roast to be covered. And this is going to make some wonderful au jus when we slice this pork roast real thin. We're going to dip it back in there almost like you would do a beef French dip. So that looks pretty good right there. We're going to pop this in the oven. And we'll check it here in about 2 hours, see where we're at. Okay, we're about an hour in on this pork roast. You can see it's browning up real nice. That fat's rendering on top. You know, right now we're sitting at about 107. We're going to take this thing, like I said before, to 190. Now, from this process, once you hit the temperature you want, you're going to want to wrap this guy up and stick it. What I like to do is wrap it up, stick it in the refrigerator overnight. The next day, you can slice it real thin for your sandwiches, put it back in the au jus. You can use a knife or you can use a meat slicer. We're going to use a meat slicer today. We already have one prepared. We're going to show you the next step. Okay, so we fast forward things a little bit. This is our cold roast that we cooked. I'm going to go ahead and slice this in half. Now, if you wanted to, thought I missed one. If you wanted to just cut this with a really sharp knife, you can certainly do that. We're going to use our slicer because we want to get it nice and thin. But you can see it looks gorgeous. We're just going to go ahead and put this in here and get this baby on. Start making some thin slices. See that there? Nice and thin. Might even try to go a little bit thinner. But you see it's nice. We're going to put that right in this. We got our au jus heated back up. We're going to put that right in there and just start laying them in as we slice them. Okay, so what we've done here is I've reserved a cup of the stock from the Au Jus from our pork roast. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take about a half a crown of broccoli rabe, or a half a bunch of broccoli rabe, and about a half a bag of spinach. We're going to steam these off, and we're going to add some seasonings to them. This is going to be the topping for our roast pork sandwich. I know it looks like a lot, but this will cook down to almost nothing. If I can get it in the pot and not all over. So we're going to let this kind of steam and saute down, and then we'll show you how we're going to season it. Cooking down nice. Okay, our greens are cooking down. We're going to go ahead and season them. I'm using some Killer Hogs AP. Just that salt, pepper, garlic. And I'm going to add just a little bit of red pepper flakes. You don't need to add a whole bunch. So just going to add a few of them in there. We'll keep stirring it, wait till they get nice and tender. We'll shut these off, and we're going to show you how we build a roast pork sandwich. Ooh, yeah. I like to judge it being done when just about all this water's out of here. So we're good on this, good and tender. We're going to shut that off and just let it sit in that hot pan. Okay, so we have a 12-inch 5-grain seeded sub roll that we picked up at our local grocery store. We're just going to go ahead and cut this guy open. You want a really nice and crusty bread for this. We're going to open this guy up. Come down a little bit more on this end. And we always like to pull out some of this top bread. Give us some more room for that meat. We're going in with some provolone cheese. Traditionally, this is done with a sharp provolone. I wasn't able to find any of that here. I'm going to lay this on this tray. We're going to throw it in the oven for a few minutes, let that get good and melted. We're going to build the rest of this sandwich. Okay, we got our provolone cheese nice and melted here on our roll. We're going to go ahead and start piling on some of this delicious roast pork. It's sitting in that Au Jus. Make sure you get a nice full sandwich. I always like to take a little bit of that juice, pour down over there. Now we're going to grab some of this broccoli rabe and spinach mixture. I'm just going to come across the top of it. And that's our version of a Philly roast pork sandwich. Should we cut her in half and take a look at that cross section, Bill?
Let's do it.
Get you some of that. I'm going for that bite. Absolutely amazing. Y'all have to give this recipe a try. Don't cheat out on that broccoli rabe. It makes the sandwich, it takes it to a new level. Give it a try. Go with a seeded roll. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Get you some of that.